So aloha and welcome to the Conscious Bridge for Healing with Rob Z and Jen B, me. And what I have to do is make this public so everybody can see it live. So just bear with me. All right, there we are. Should be live on the Facebook. So hey Rob,
Hi, Jen.
so good to see you.
You too. We didn't even
So
talk about a theme for this week.
no, we didn't, but it doesn't matter because I have a revelation that I'm going to share with Rob that he doesn't even know what it is yet. So it's like a it's like a
We're just
surprise.
gonna, yeah, we're just
Yeah.
gonna shoot from the hip and aim for the heart, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I like that, Rob. That's great. So I'm a little kind of like recalibrating, so I'm a little hyped up because this is like for me, everything is reorienting to make this my lens of perception for the entire for reality. And it's far reaching. It has a lot of interesting implications. And the reason why I want to share it, and I'm kind of like buying us a little time by giving a little backstory, is because if you can apply this lens to your reality, it's going to help you out. It's going to help you. Um, I just feel like it's probably for me, it's personally, and it's one of the most important revelations. And it's not just a revelation, it's kind of hit the living level in me where I can finally live it. It's kind of like I've been gathering all this information for a few years. So, are you ready, Rob?
Lay it on me.
Everything is religion.
Okay. Do you care to say more?
Yes, of course. So I want to let that like land. So I've been like on this, quest because everything that's happened since 2020, it's like my reach on, online, my online business has just been in decline, 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 decline. And I've been looking around, looking for people that can help me, right? And that's not been, I really haven't found a lot of benefit in that. And I'm also at the same time looking at all the spiritual and healing marketplace. And I've been talking about that and talking about the duality of it, and that many people just only see it as like it's a good, always good, but it's not always good because people are involved. And so I realized that even businesses are set up as religion. Your business is the church, right? You're the priest or the priestess or whatever you want to, whatever label you want to put there, and you've got to convert people. You're in a state of trying to convert people to a new religion. And if I go under another layer under that, what really means is everything is astrology or astrotheology. And this is all coming from like we're all set up in a reality that's based on priesthood, on gatekeepers to God, on gatekeepers to your own health and well-being and true essence. What you got there? Like,
I'm processing this.
yeah, well, so I can keep talking because this is what happened. I realized because money's been a stress, like just it's been a stress. I had a whole bunch of shit happen with that client, right? And so she's making a lot of money off of my course after I told her she couldn't teach it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
a lot of money, and that of course, was very, very uh hard for me to deal with. So like just kind of putting it out there. And you also create a religion by what you stress over. So your stress is your worry and your fears, your prayers, and whatever you're stressing over becomes the God that you can never access.
Wow.
And then you go looking for a gatekeeper who'll never give you access either.
Wow.
Right. So then the way I'm looking at this is why everything's kind of broken down for me, because I'm out here in this healing marketplace, whatever spiritual marketplace, because I have a more holistic view, right, of healing. So it's alternative to the help, the like the the fear porn programming, the religion, right, actually the priesthood and the religion. And I'm trying to help empower people with their own healing, like put healing back in their own hands, the power, like kind of reflect that the power of the healing is in their own hands, which is counter to this religious narrative, this scripture, right, religious scripture, that
Decentralized, baby.
yeah, so it's like
Right.
basically like religion, the basis of religion is basically what it says is you're broken and you need to be fixed. The only way you can get fixed is if you find a priest. And if the priest is never going to give you God, though, you just have to keep going to church, though, because that's the only way you're a good person and the only way you're going to be fixed. And the only way you're going to really know you're fixed is if you get to heaven or hell.
I guess that's why they had to kill all the Gnostics, huh?
I guess so, right? I
You
guess
know,
so, right?
because they were
Yeah.
saying
So
something very different.
yeah. So that's why it's very difficult for me to market, because I'm like, no, no, we need empowerment. Like, I can't be the person. I'm not, I don't want to be the priest, priestess, gatekeeper. That doesn't mean I'm going to tell you everything that I'm studying in the moment, because I need to be with that information and fully digest it before someone starts giving me surface level bullshit back to me about what I'm doing. I don't want to hear it. Right. So there's a level of like, yeah, I'm not, eventually I'm going to reveal what I'm studying, like where my thought processes are going, because I need to share it out, right? Because it's all about empowerment. But um, many people are acting as gatekeepers to God and don't even realize it. They don't know that their business is a church. They don't know you know, their ideologies are their scripture, that it's like, and then you have to like basically submit, like you're submitting.
Yeah.
And then not to say that submission is a bad thing, because I would say in the female male dynamics, biologically speaking, based on German new medicine, the feminine does submit to the male, to the masculine, and that's a healthy way of being for both. But there's a lot to talk about in that. I don't want to unpack that right now. And if you're reacting to the word submission, then obviously there's work you need to do there to understand what that really is. So
Hmm, that's
what you
very
got?
different from the
Mhm.
well, in all my adventures in
Mhm.
Buddha lands and everything. It's very different where feminine is associated with wisdom and masculine is associated with compassion, right? And wisdom is space and everything starts with space. And you need that space for everything to operate in,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know. So a little different from New German medicine.
Right. It's a little
Yeah.
different, but it's still, but this is, we're talking about, biologically speaking, right? And that wisdom is intuition. So it's the same thing. They would say the feminine is more intuitive.
Hmm.
It,
Getting back to religion, it's kind of interesting where it doesn't have to be that esoteric. I mean, we can see it, right? A couple hundred
Mhm.
years ago, we built cathedrals.
Right.
And then about 100 years ago, we started building skyscrapers, right? To
Mhm.
the new religion,
Mhm.
right? All the rich guys were building, I think of the Woolworth building and all those other beautiful things that they decked
Right.
out with, art with artwork and fancy
Right.
craftsmanship and everything. The focus shifted to that. And then now, what do we have now? We have, well, one way we have the religion of science, The temple is the
Mm-hmm.
laboratory. The priesthood is the researchers with their white coats, and they speak
Right.
their language, whatever the hell gobbledygook that shit is, and
Right.
uh, hand down the new pronouncements
Yes.
that we're
Yeah.
supposed to just swallow and follow, and and then hey, tomorrow it can contradict itself, but hey, no, we told you.
Right. Right.
So I can kind of see, I can kind of see that.
So it's everything. The
Yeah,
education system is religion. The teacher is the priest, right? The
yeah,
disseminator of information, the gatekeeper telling you what to think, but not how to think, how to use your processor.
yeah. I guess that was always my problem with religion, at least the way I was raised with it, is that you are the perpetual child,
Right.
and no one's encouraging you to grow up and step into your own. And okay, be a good child and follow the parents' dictates instead of
Mm-hmm.
realizing the parent or the source or the divine within.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Because that's trouble for the establishment, whoever the establishment is at the time.
Right. Right. So, but I don't want to say, but it's like this is kind of like if you start to apply that structure to everything we're experiencing, it just breaks it all down. It gets you out of like because I feel like some part of us is designed to worship, right? What altar are you going to worship at? Well, if I'm going to worship at an altar, right, it's going to be an altar of like, helping people to think and to process information, which is about health. It's about being well. It's about that. Like it's about living.
Yeah. This video is going to get you so flagged, by the way.
Ah, well, that's why I'm only keeping them up for 24 hours on the Facebook page. And then, and then, yeah, and then because I did a Facebook post for this, and what's interesting is my page was temporarily gone after I did the Facebook post. And I said, I'm going to drop a bombshell revelation. I said, and I wrote, Rob doesn't even know what it is. But like the other point is like you worship what you stress. Like what you stress about. Like that's we're our processing is like it's put in this kind of religious mode. That's all I can like that's how I'm looking at it. And so we have to start realizing that and then shifting around away from that. Because for me, what I realized what I was doing was putting money as a god over me, something I could never attain. It's always out here. There are all these gatekeepers. There are all these other people that know how to do it, but I'm never going to know how to do it. I'm always going to be the
Mm.
child, where that's not true. But I had set it up that way, you see, in my own consciousness, in my own relationship to money. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, 'cause who knows? Because they, like I'm just trying to see if anyone is watching, but I don't think they are. I think that this is kind of like I'm gonna use I see it'll Facebook will even hide the live video from me.
Hmm.
So what I have to do is actually go on the Facebook page itself. I can't even do it from my phone and see if I can find it and kind of highlight people.
That was a great thing you put up the other day. There were some really great contributions. That thing, when you've got Zuckerberg looking down the hole,
Oh, that
making sure
was
you're
so
still at the
good,
bottom.
right?
And
Yeah,
then some of those contributions were just outstanding.
I know,
Really
right?
good.
That's why I like doing that.
I loved what was it, Biden over George Washington smelling his hair like he does with the little girls. It's just That was a lot of fun.
I think that was from Tam. I can't remember if that was from Tammy. I don't remember who posted that, but oh yeah, those are great. I like to,
Hmm.
to me, it's like if I'm going to influence people, if I'm going to try to, I'm not trying to convert people into my way of thinking. I just want them to start thinking, right?
Right.
Um,
Think for
that's
yourself.
right. Think for yourself. Like, here's how I'm thinking about this. Here's how I'm seeing it. It could be wrong, and I can change that like as I grow and learn, which is fine, right? We have to be okay with growing past what the way we saw things previously, right? Um, but I would rather inspire people through laughter, right, than anything, like just by calling it all out that way. And yeah, I that was a great one. So I tend to do those to try to disrupt the algorithm. Then sometimes it
Hmm.
works against me,
Mm.
because of what the
Yeah.
memes that are being shared. Uh,
Well,
yeah.
sunlight's the best antiseptic.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. That speaks volumes.
Hmm. Yeah.
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 Septic, scepter,
Ooh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
seven,
Wow. I wonder about that connection.
seven chakras, the physical energy centers.
I was revisiting something by Hannah Kruger a couple weeks ago, who said,
Mm-hmm.
he was talks about the chakras or energy centers in different
Mm.
cultures, and in the West, there's actually nine. Have you ever heard that before?
There's 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 I've heard nine, there's 12, there's
But front and back, she starts with the nape of the neck.
right.
One, two is the sacrum, and then I guess it kind of like, comes up the body.
Mm-hmm.
Where's lower abdomen, three. I guess like the right liver, 14, four,
Right.
and then across five, I guess over your spleen,
Yeah.
five, six, CP20, seven, or something, right? Eight and nine. I thought that was interesting, and I was love to know where she got that from. But
Uh there's some, I don't know if that's Tibetan or Taoist. There's some correlation there.
okay.
Uh that you can look for. I'm not sure what it is. Which one? Oh, it's just showing. It's just all of it's doing is showing me that I commented under our live.
Oh,
Like I'm sitting here going, "This is gold, people. Do you understand? This is gold. This is the kind of thing that will help you be able to like apply a filter to reality that's going to help you not get sucked in to crap." Like, so basically, it's like, what church do you want to go to? That's the person that you know, and the priest and the all that stuff as far as business goes or who you align yourself with. It's just going to another church. Maybe that's why my business was like so good in New Jersey, because my last name was Church and the business was in a church. If everything is religion.
yeah, yeah, right. Maybe you need to start a religion.
I have that. I have the private ministry association, the Temple of Truth. But I could
Hmm.
set it all up that way. Well, I'm going to
Yeah,
make really, it's going to be all that, that's going to just be the overarching thing, but it's just all going to be the healing body.
that's the name of the thing, the
Yeah.
healing body.
Yeah. I like the healing body.
I like that.
Yeah. So like, you guys, this is like a real authentic kind of conversation that I would have on the phone. I'd be like, Rob, oh my God, I gotta say this thing happened. And then I would tell him, and then he would give me feedback like this. So you're like witnessing our friendship live,
Yeah, yeah.
basically. Um, so yeah. So this has just been a whole like with everything. Like I'm just like integrating this, and now I'm just going to apply that filter to everything. And it makes sense, like, why there's certain people I can't work for, because I'm like, yeah, I don't like your religion. I don't prescribe. And really, if you think about it, like my story, right? At 5 years old, the first day of school, religious school, I quit. I heard,
Hmm.
this man can't teach you. That's it. And I was done. So it's taking me all this time to realize, like, yeah, everything is a religion, but I didn't realize why I was rejecting everything in this reality, because it's all a religion. It's all astrotheology.
Astrotheology. Can you unpack that term a little bit?
12 disciples, 12 zodiac. That is that like enough, right? And then if you think about it, like they, the really the ancient priests were monitoring the stars. They really were. They weren't not.
Hmm.
They were they were looking at that. So everything is about that. And that's kind of like, I look at it like, all right, think about it, like the word ordination, ordained, like this ordination. And then we have coordinates that are basically the stars placements at our birth. Coordination. And then to me, it's like, well, then there's like an expectation for you to live uh through the planet and star placement, like that brouhaha, um, that movement, as you participate, as you play the game here, as you play the religious game. So, like, if I went stretch back a little even more, like I went back to my tropical chart, I rejected that chart, right? I rejected that religion. I looked at the sidereal chart, and then I kind of was like, I still could never feel right. It like learning new information is always good for me. Like I like to learn. So
Yeah.
that'll get me kind of like, oh, let me learn this. And then I'm like, and then it like fizzles, like there's a fizzling, because it now I know it's all religion, and that's why I was kind of fizzling. But it helps you. It's not helpful. Like to me, it's helpful because once I decided, okay, I'm going to play the game as these coordinates. I'm going to start playing the game that's expected of me and see what happens. And that's sort of
Is that part of
relaxed.
your new revelation?
That's no, that was a few months ago. I think that's what's brought me here, because I stopped resisting the religion. I
So how do you
stopped.
know what's expected of you?
You'd have to look at your chart.
Which chart?
I think because the tropical chart is like the most recent chart, it's like what the religion of the time. This is the astrotheology that's covering over our time now. The
Okay.
most predominant. You can look at all of them. That's what I started. That's what happened. I started looking at all of them and sort of bridging the similarities. Like, so like a sidereal chart, like when was that popular, right? That at that time, that's what would have been expected of me. So people are trying to revive these other maps, these navigational maps, these coordinates. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? Because you have to do with what speaks to you. But you also have to be mindful that you're not worshiping these archetypes. Like in certain traditions, it's not called the zodiac, it's called the circle of the beasts, which is an interesting thing to like think about. So because I wasn't, what happened, it's like, well, because I was in this like rebellion and resistance of the tropical chart religion, astrotheology, I was being blind to what it really was. And once I started to just relax and like kind of accept it, right? Okay, I'm accepting this religion for a little bit of time. Then, and to play the game as that, like try to play the game as what's expected of this person with these coordinates, this kind of psyche, right? how do you live as that, what's described there as that archetype? And I think that's what's like allowed this kind of all to come out.
So
Go
you're
ahead.
playing a role.
Um, I mean, authentically, I'm kind of like, well, how would I do this? Like how, I kind of looked back really anyway at my life and I was like, well, what do I like to do the most in my life? And that was dance. Dance has always been like throughout my life has been my thing. So I started dancing again. And that put me more like out in the world a little bit more and being more social and just kind of engaging in life. How do you want to like play in life? And then also realizing like being able to be in a state of play, like a more open kind of consciousness when you're out in the world instead of going, oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't like that flag and I don't want to be around these people. Like it's like, no, let's see how this, if I can be in a state of play, what happens? Who talks to me? What kind of conversations start happening? So it's just being more curious. But there's a playfulness. It's kind of like this, like playing with life. So what I said, I'm ready. I'm ready to engage in life this way. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And just do it and see what happens.
Cool.
And that's why we're here now with this conversation. Because I wish someone had been able to like, if someone had been able to like actually say that to me, not just like at 5 saying, you can't learn, this man can't teach you. If I had heard like everything is religion, Jennifer, like that would have been great for my whole life. But I had to go through all of this and all this experience. And maybe I wouldn't have done the things that I've done in life. Like maybe I wouldn't have helped as many people as I've helped with my hands, right? And with my presence and, with whatever tools I have. I know you're trying to figure this out.
I am, yeah. No, I have to sit with all this for a little bit.
That's all right. I expect that I want people to digest this. Like, I'm just telling you what I did, like how I got here, like the backstory, like where I kind of was like, that's it. Like, and also I was like, I surrender. Like, I give up. I give up trying to fight the man, fight the system. I'm just done, you know? Um, so what happens if I just go into it? Like, if I just like, you know, here I am, like that. So
Well, that's the
it,
dance, right?
yeah.
I mean, how you go into it and yet maintain your
Mhm.
integrity, your sense of self,
Right. Yeah.
stay true to your values.
Hmm. So and that's why I think this is probably, that's why I feel personally that this is the most important revelation I've ever had. And it's like living in me now, where it was kind of conceptual before, conceptual, like I'm like, oh no, it's everywhere. It's in everything.
While your cells are vibrating
Yeah.
with it. Yeah. Yeah.
They're dancing. Uh, oh shit. I just dropped the ring. Okay, it's not broken.
Oh, what?
Ah, so this is a ring from my mom's boyfriend who passed, Larry, and it's
Okay.
got,
Oh,
lot
well.
lots of little,
Yeah.
and so if I'd be worried that it would drop. But I like to keep, for some reason, I like to keep his jewelry near me. He was a very um he died and he killed himself. But he, he was like an important person for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I really loved him. So it's nice to have something of his.
Mhm.
Yeah. He would have gotten a kick out of him. He had I think it was like a convertible Chevy Caprice with um a Caprice. Oh, my mom would know, with a turntable in the center console. So he'll play records.
Was it an old car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was long. It was like one of those long cars. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was an Impala or something.
No, I don't think it was an
No.
Impala.
Okay.
Like my mom would know. I'd have to. She's not. I don't think she's on. So I don't. She's probably had enough of me because she went to the live call last night. Yeah, I don't know. I no, she's not on here. So anyway, that's what I got.
Oh, wow. Huh. Someone was talking about this, I guess, probably it was an older topic, probably during the thick of COVID or something like that. And
Hmm.
someone was saying Shazandra Berry was very helpful
Well,
for staying true
go
to
ahead.
yourself in the middle of everything going on around you, not being carried away by the things going on around you.
Well, it's
And
astringent.
it is, but it also makes sense in that it has all the five flavors of
No.
Chinese medicine, right? So it's got all those energies in it. I think probably in a balanced way, maybe, but it's also red. So it kind of brings you back to the heart.
Well, I have another thing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I guess I can unpack it now, right? I haven't because this is all part of like how this is all kind of like this revelation went in my, like um how it became like living for me. I was like, the heart is red, Shen red, spirit red. Why is inflammation red? And I thought to myself, like, even if you think you're studying some spiritual information, right? But you're not really living like in your spirit, does that is that part of what breeds inflammation? Because it's your body trying to become aligned with your own the little Shen and the big Shen.
Ooh. So well, that's interesting. So you're talking kind of, I guess, about conflict.
Yeah, or is like spirit trying to come to that area to get it to heal or integrate or whatever needs to happen.
But it's not being let in.
Well, it's kind of like what I'm saying is why we have so much inflammation. I get why we have it on the physical level and
Yeah.
all the stuffs, right? But what I'm talking about is it possible that it's because we're not really in spiritual alignment? And that's why there's so much physical inflammation because it's so much redness
Yeah.
because it's kind of going, you need red, you need red, you need red, 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 red. Now I know there are other layers to this, like, but this is just like one little piece, right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess where I was going with conflict is that resistance between spirit and will, the ego will,
Right.
or um, again, conflict between self and other, something you see as something other,
Hmm.
right? um, which is also part of the autoimmune process. We know, strong emotions or anything can kind of kick off that too.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily, I think, just, oh, a heavy metal or a
Right.
forever chemical or anything like that, right? Yeah. Um, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm looking at, is it a deficient, a Shen deficiency of Shen? Instead of, like, I understand, like, blood, red, red, like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, on the physical level, we have red blood cells and all that. But like on this,
Uh,
yeah,
well,
simplistic
well,
level, I'm saying, like, all of the so-called spiritual stuff that I feel like is offered in this reality is still disconnecting people from spirit. And that's why we still have a problem. Like, because we're not integrated into like holism or a wholeness, like as a whole beingness. There's always this kind of like separating out the parts and pieces and preventing us from like getting into the consolidated, you know.
well, do you think that's inherent in the spiritual schools being pushed, or is that coming from somewhere else?
I think it's both. I think it's, like coming from somewhere else and then being pushed in the spiritual schools. Because right out of the gate, like, so part of it is like, no, because I've never, I mean, you have studied, you know, Shambhala, right? Buddhism, like that would be, what type of Buddhism is it? What is the school of thought?
Yeah, I mean, well, the Shambhala teachings are separate from the Buddhist teachings, but then they were kind of squashed together, and I don't know, I
Right.
kind of think they were meant to be kept separate.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but to me, it's like if you're going to get people on a path, the first things to tell them is that this path is only leading you to all the parts that you already have. It's not about and you have these, and these are the parts that you have. And here's how to
Uh,
integrate them.
yeah, well, actually, that's like that is, if you were to go down the path of Shambhala training, that's the first talk. What you said right there, right?
Mhm.
Fundamentally, there's no problem.
Right, but still people do the disintegration part, even though they're told. And I think that has to do with the religious structured mindset. Like, what,
Religious in the loose sense.
no, that structure, like the hierarchy, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
you know,
Well, it's just very human. We tend to do that to everything, don't we?
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it though? Is it our true humanity, or is it what's been projected onto us as a way of being and operating and relating at a very fundamental level?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that you just strip away over time, working on
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Conditioning,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? It's been conditioned into us.
But it could, like I'm saying, it could be conditioned all the way down to the DNA. Hmm.
Hmm. So you're changing your DNA?
Don't we all do that anyway?
Yeah, good question.
DNA, and is DNA spelled backwards? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like it. Like, I feel like I think I don't feel like I have more to say about this, and I feel like that's a lot for people to digest. How do you feel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So we're gonna
I think it's
end
an awesome
here.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, Rob, for playing along with my surprise. Surprise! In fact, because we got on before, and I was like, "You want to know now, or do you want to wait until we're live?" And I'll tell you. And he waited till we were live, so his reaction was genuine. So, yeah. If you
Yeah, and
have,
generally I don't like surprises, but
yeah, well, you know me, so you know,
I know it's going to be okay.
it's gonna be okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um. So yeah, like any questions or comments, ask below. You can find Rob at silverneedlewellness.com. You can find me at structuredbysoul.podia.com for now until I change everything to the healing body. And yeah, next time we don't know what we're going to talk about yet. Maybe we'll go more with this or something else might come forward. And so until next time, thanks guys for watching us live and watching the replay.
Yes, and then watch it backwards and then do what it says.
Great. That's great.